This is a book that asks one simple yet powerful question. Are you making a living, or are you making a dying? Your Money or Your Life, by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez, is a guide that helps you break free from the cycle of working hard just to spend harder. It shows you how to take control of your money, your time, and your future by teaching you to align your finances with your values. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about living fully. Let's dive deep into that. Not just through the pages of a personal finance book, but through a profound transformation of how we see life itself. Your Money or Your Life, by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez, isn't your typical money manual filled with investment hacks or generic budgeting tips. It is a soul-searching roadmap that urges you to rethink the relationship between time, money, and meaning. To truly understand the heart of this book, it's important to know a bit about the authors. Joe Dominguez was a successful financial analyst on Wall Street by the age of 31. Despite a flourishing career, he found himself disillusioned by the rat race and chose to retire early. Not because he had millions, but because he had crafted a frugal, value-driven lifestyle that allowed him to live off his investments. Joe committed his life to teaching others how to do the same. Vicki Robin, on the other hand, was a writer and social innovator who became a student of Joe's philosophy. She brought compassion, storytelling, and accessibility to what could otherwise be a dry financial doctrine. Together, they created a program that combines rigor with humanity, logic with emotion, and numbers with deep philosophical inquiry. This book is a call to reclaim your most valuable resource, your life energy, and to start living with purpose rather than merely existing to make ends meet. The authors guide you to shift from a mindset of scarcity and obligation to one of freedom and sufficiency. In doing so, they challenge some of our deepest societal assumptions about money, success, and what it truly means to live a good life. This book is a call to reclaim your most valuable resource, your life energy, and to start living with purpose rather than merely existing to make ends meet. Imagine working every single day of your adult life, spending countless hours in traffic, enduring stressful meetings, and managing relentless workloads. Now imagine arriving at your golden years, worn out and disillusioned, wondering where all that time went and whether it was truly worth it. This, the authors argue, is the default path society sets us on, a path of consumption, debt, and disconnection. But it doesn't have to be this way. Robin and Dominguez introduce a revolutionary concept. Money is not just a tool or a medium of exchange. It is something you trade your life energy for. Every dollar you earn equates to minutes or even hours of your time, your one precious, non-renewable resource. When you internalize this, you begin to view your purchases differently. That $100 dinner isn't just expensive. It might have cost you 5 hours of your life. Was it worth it? This foundational idea is at the core of the book's 9-step program designed to help readers regain control over their finances and ultimately their lives. But make no mistake, this isn't a quick fix. It's not about getting rich quickly or optimizing your portfolio overnight. Instead, it's about achieving what the authors call financial independence. Not in the millionaire sense, but in the sense of no longer being dependent on your job or a paycheck to survive. The first step of the program involves taking stock of everything you've earned in your lifetime. It may seem like a daunting task, but it's crucial.
You tally up every dollar from every job, every bonus, every freelance gig, and every side hustle.
Then you compare this lifetime earnings figure to your current net worth. For many people, the comparison is jarring. They realize they've earned hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even millions over decades, but have little to show for it. This moment can trigger a deep emotional response, feelings of regret, disbelief, or even grief. It makes people stop and ask, how could I have worked so hard for so long and still feel financially insecure? This reckoning can feel like peeling back the curtain on your life. It reveals how years of effort may have been consumed by bills, lifestyle inflation, and unconscious spending. But this reflection is not intended to shame, it is meant to empower. It's a powerful wake-up call that urges you to take back control of your financial story. The purpose is to illuminate just how much life energy has been spent, often without deliberate intent, and to provoke a moment of clarity that invites new possibilities for change. In this vulnerable yet eye-opening moment, many begin to see that a more intentional and value-aligned path is not only possible, but necessary. The next step is rigorous tracking of all your expenses. Every penny spent is recorded. This isn't just about accounting. It's about awareness. As you begin to document your spending, patterns emerge. You start to understand where your money goes, often in surprising ways. That daily coffee, that forgotten subscription, those online impulse buys, they all add up. More importantly, you start to see how little of that spending actually contributes to your happiness or well-being. Once you've tracked this for a few months, you can't help but start making different choices. Then comes a radical exercise, assigning a value score to every expense. After each month, you reflect on every category of spending and ask yourself, did I receive fulfillment and satisfaction in proportion to life energy spent? Was this expenditure aligned with my values and purpose? Could I live without it? These aren't easy questions, but they're necessary if you want to live with intention. Often, people discover that they are spending far more on things that bring momentary satisfaction and very little long-term joy. One of the most eye-opening parts of the book is the calculation of your real hourly wage. This isn't the number on your paycheck divided by hours worked. It factors in all the hidden costs of earning money, commuting, professional wardrobe, stress recovery, even the time spent decompressing after a long day. Once you account for all these, your hourly wage might be far less than you think. And with that new figure in mind, you begin to see your spending habits in a whole new light. When we see that something we bought with a single swipe actually cost us hours of our life, the impulse to consume begins to diminish. Imagine you earn $15 an hour after all deductions and hidden costs. That $60 dinner just cost you 4 hours of your life. That gadget you bought on a whim?
2 full days off work.
When you see spending through this lens, you become far more conscious and intentional. It's not about guilt. It's about clarity. This clarity fosters a sense of empowerment. You are now the author of your financial story. The authors then introduce the concept of the monthly tabulation, a spreadsheet or chart where you log income and expenses, categorized and tracked consistently. Over time, this chart becomes a mirror. You begin to see the widening or narrowing gap between what you earn and what you spend. It becomes a game almost, a personal challenge to find joy not in spending more, but in spending less while gaining more fulfillment. This visual feedback becomes a form of meditation. It helps you identify cycles, emotional spending, seasonal variations, and even financial triggers from personal relationships. The book also teaches you how to visualize your journey towards financial independence using what they call the crossover point. You plot your monthly expenses and your monthly investment income on a graph. The day these lines intersect is the day you achieve financial independence, when your income from investments or passive sources covers your expenses. From that day on, you no longer need to work for money.
You are free.
But what they stress is this: financial independence is not about retiring early and doing nothing. It's about reclaiming time to do what you love.
To be off service. To live aligned.
Achieving this point doesn't necessarily require a massive salary or hitting the stock market jackpot. It requires discipline, intentionality, and most importantly, a redefinition of what enough means. And here lies another core teaching of the book: the difference between more and enough. Society teaches us to always want more. More money, more status, more stuff. But Robin and Dominguez ask, what if the secret to happiness isn't more, but enough? What if contentment lies not in accumulation, but in alignment? Frugality, in this sense, is redefined. It's not about living cheaply or denying yourself joy. It's about maximizing value and meaning in every dollar you spend. It's about choosing quality over quantity, experiences over possessions, connection over consumption. It's a shift from unconscious spending to conscious living.
De autors frame frugalitias elegancy.
The elegance of living well with less, of savoring life's simple joys, of understanding that abundance isn't what you own, it's how you feel. Beyond the financial strategies, the book delves into the psychological and emotional baggage we carry around money. Many of us have inherited beliefs that no longer serve us, that money is evil, that rich people are greedy, that success equals suffering. These beliefs often stem from childhood experiences or cultural messaging. For example, if you grew up hearing your parents argue about money or struggle to make ends meet, you may subconsciously associate wealth with stress and instability. Or if you were told that wanting more is selfish or greedy, you might feel guilt or shame when striving for financial success. These ingrained beliefs manifest in daily decisions. Someone who believes money is hard to earn might be overly cautious with spending, even when it hinders their quality of life. Others may sabotage opportunities for advancement because they feel unworthy of wealth. Still others overspend to prove self-worth or gain social approval, believing deep down that money validates identity. The book invites you to challenge these assumptions, to rewire your thinking, and to build a healthier, more empowered relationship with money. It encourages readers to reflect on the origins of their money stories and to choose new beliefs that support freedom, sufficiency, and intentional living. By transforming your mindset, you create the foundation for lasting change, not just in your finances, but in how you show up for life. And it's not just about personal transformation. The authors emphasize the importance of community and social responsibility. When you consume less, you not only save money, you reduce your ecological footprint. When you are no longer obsessed with climbing the corporate ladder, you have time to engage with your community, to volunteer, to help others, to create art, to build a life that matters. You begin to realize that financial independence doesn't isolate you. It connects you more deeply. One of the most touching parts of the book is the real-life stories that breathe life into the program's principles. Take, for instance, the story of a public school teacher named Sandy. For over 2 decades, Sandy taught in a large city, dedicating long hours and endless emotional energy to her students. Yet despite years of service, she found herself living paycheck to paycheck, with little to no savings and mounting anxiety about the future. After discovering Your Money or Your Life, she committed to tracking every expense, calculating her real hourly wage, and making value-based decisions about her spending. What she found was liberating. Many of her expenses stem from coping mechanisms, like retail therapy and eating out due to work stress. Within a few years, Sandy had paid off her debts, significantly lowered her living expenses, and began building a modest investment portfolio. But most importantly, she felt in control. Her work no longer felt like an obligation but a choice, and she even transitioned to part-time teaching, using the extra time to volunteer and mentor new educators. Then there's the couple, Carla and James, who had grown disillusioned with their fast-paced urban careers and high cost of living. After applying the program, they chose to sell their large home, relocate to a smaller town, and live in a modest but cozy house they paid for in full. Their quality of life improved dramatically. They had more time for each other, less stress, and a renewed sense of purpose. James started woodworking, a passion he'd shelved for decades, and Carla began writing again. They didn't become wealthy by society's standards, but they were finally rich in time and joy. These aren't fantasy stories. They're real people who applied the principles and changed their lives. You hear from individuals across all income levels: teachers, software engineers, artists, retirees, each one proving that financial independence and a values-aligned life are not reserved for the elite. This path is available to anyone with the willingness to pause, reflect, and make intentional choices. The book also acknowledges the emotional challenges of this journey. Letting go of consumerism can feel like shedding a skin. There's fear, discomfort, even grief. But on the other side is liberation. And the authors don't leave you to navigate that alone. They offer encouragement, tools, and a supportive framework to help you stay the course. They also emphasize the power of community. Friends, family, or even online groups walking the same path can make all the difference. In the final chapters, the book shifts from the practical to the profound. It asks you to define your purpose, to envision a life of meaning. What would you do if money were no object? Who would you become? How would you spend your days? The goal isn't retirement in the traditional sense. It's a renaissance, a rebirth into a life where your time, energy, and money are aligned with your deepest values. Financial independence, then, is not an end. It's a beginning. It's the starting point for a new chapter where you write your own rules, where you contribute from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. It's about freedom, not just from work, but from fear, from obligation, from living a life that's not your own. And the authors are clear. You don't have to wait decades to begin.
Every Mindful Choice o Mac Today Moves e o Closer.
In conclusion, Your Money or Your Life is more than a guide to better money habits. It's a manifesto for a more intentional, joyful, and liberated existence. It's a wake-up call to stop trading your life for things that don't matter and to start investing in what truly does. It's a book that challenges you to stop running on autopilot and start living with purpose. It offers not just a map but a compass, a way to find your true north. So as you put this book down, ask yourself, what is your life energy really worth? Are your daily choices aligned with the life you dream of living? The journey to financial independence begins not with a bank balance, but with a decision to live deliberately, to question deeply, and to act with clarity. You don't have to have all the answers today, but you do need to begin. The first step is awareness. The second is action. The rest unfolds one conscious choice at a time. So if you've ever felt like there must be more to life than working, spending, and repeating, this book is for you. If you've ever dreamed of waking up without an alarm clock, of spending your time how you choose, of living a life that feels deeply fulfilling, this book will show you the way. Please don't follow me if you want to stay broken and middle class.